Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 17, Week 5. Taking a look at Foies, the BlackOtter team, taking on Lotus, Orbange, and the Nick team. Last time was a very highly competitive matchup. Let's see what happens this
Yeah,
time.
sure was.
Got the Tramp Protector.
Again.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, it worked well enough last time. This is definitely one of these games if you're Foies. Gotta be running the Warlock again. Not a bad idea. You certainly, you certainly have to be thinking, like, what do we change? How do we stop that from happening? They actually blamed the alchemist rather than the skeleton king, which may not be that bad of an idea, honestly. It seems to me that alchemist is the support on which Otto has had the most success so far this season. You knock it out, you're probably cutting the legs up from under evolution pyro, which is certainly not to say he wasn't holding his own there as well, but doesn't
Yeah.
hoit. It doesn't hoit.
10 seconds remaining.
You know, if you're worried about the same thing happening again, right? You eliminate at least one of the factors. They're dropping the ball on Coppola, so holy crap, look at all those bans. Maybe the secret one is also directed at him. Somebody hates Scotland. Scotland for never. That's what Nick says.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I do think, despite the last game, this could definitely be a competitive scenario. I do think these teams, on a good day, are not so disproportionate that it should be a massive stomp. But the problem is that now Les Foies are coming into this match with that major morale break of having that just happen to them, right?
Yeah. There's a reason they tell you not to queue right after a game like that if you're playing pubs.
Yeah. Right now, Viper, a very early Viper, is a very dangerous thing. I would say this without much hesitation, one of the most easily countered heroes in the game. Very binary. Usually when I'm talking about binary heroes, I'm talking about pause ones, and I guess you could hypothetically run Viper as a pause one, but you shouldn't. Viper, very binary. Either he goes 30-0 and has massive impact, or he goes 0-30 and all he does is just break towers for you. That's it, right? Like, that's the two Viper games. There's not really any middle ground. Doesn't care much about Sand Kings, that's the good news. It's a couple levels of corrosive skin, and this guy actually doesn't do anything to you. So if it's going to be mid Sand King again, then he doesn't have that much to worry about.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
At least in lane. I mean, it could still be very bad during the game. While Sand King is very poor at dealing with Viper personally, he does still have a big old stun that's going to hold him still. And anybody who is very good against Viper can very easily take advantage of it. It's sensible to be running back a Treant Sand King combo, I think. It's two skills that do play well into each other. I don't know if I really gave it the credit that I should have in the first round. I mean, it's fairly simple. Make no mistake, I'm sure everybody looking at that can probably guess what you're supposed to do with that combo, but not a bad situation, to say the least. I think it's actually not impossible. That's a pause 5 Sand King as well. Swing coming up here. Pretty nasty for Viper.
Auto supports one.
Could be. Pretty nasty counter to Viper if he's a core, I should say. Pretty nasty counter to Viper. You know, the thing I said before is that there's some heroes that are only tanky through a trick of the light, through sleight of hand, and Viper is one of those. Viper is not really tanky. Even for an Agi hero, his actual armor stat is pretty bad. His actual HP bar, pretty small. Never really gets much bigger, right? He likes dealing with magic damage. He is very tanky towards magic damage, and he is tanky enough towards small amounts of physical damage. Mars, huh? But big type physical damage, Sven just hits R and hits Viper with the Echo Saber, and Viper just dies. That's pretty much the long and short of it. Mars pick here is interesting. I guess I can kind of see it. The Warlock Mars combo is pretty good, but I don't know if I pick Mars when I don't know what the pause 1 is yet. Maybe they're assuming it's Sven, but I wouldn't. There's a genuine chance it is the famous auto pause 5 Sven. It's kind of the issue with this team. So that Otto von Bismarck will play any nonsense as support. So you can't really ever trust what you're saying. Makes this team very tricky to draft against. By the way, last time we got super unfitting music for pick phase, so I guess it stands to reason this time we get no music for pick phase at all. Just awkward silence. There we go. Running it back, huh? Wait, no, they ain't running it back. That's the other team.
Yeah, running against.
Dire team ban.
Okay, well that sucks.
Alright, yeah.
He's got a good escape. I mean, it's RNG based. He's got a good escape from the arena if he doesn't die literally in the time of the Spear Stun. He's pretty good against Wraith King. He is super baller against Viper until Viper gets Aghanim Scepter, and that's a long time, man. He is pretty good. He just looks really strong in this game. This sucks. Honestly, I don't know what you pick at this point here.
The less pick Calpless. How to counter Phantom Lancer with a support.
I think what I would do, I mean, there's Earthshaker, I guess.
I guess, but
I think the most
like
reasonable.
It's like Slaughter against Rookie or something. I don't know.
I mean, it works in pubs for a pretty good reason, and it works in the context of the rest of the lineup as well. Like combos well with the Mars, and most of those guys are going to be kind of at the same spot in every fight. Like Treant, Sven, Sand King, PL are all going to be in the same spot in fights. So you can assume, I think, fairly, that any kind of Earthshaker Echo Slam is going to be like super big. And I mean, what else are you going to pick, right? Like, what else are you going to go for? Just pick the one. I mean, you can play around it as Phantom Lancer. There's no argument with that, but I mean, that's your best shot, I think. Well, what else, right?
Dire team pick.
If worst came to worst, if they for some reason had a particular inkling to do it, they could sack the Mars, make it pause 4, which isn't actually too bad, and then pick up pause 3 to do the job. Pick up like the Pit Lord or something, which is a little redundant compared to Mars, but I mean, in this situation, you gotta do what you gotta do, if that makes sense. This is a nice thing, you know.
Radiant team pick.
If you're willing to sack the Mars. Phoenix, huh?
Okay.
I don't think the illusions can hit the sun unless Ice Frog has
No.
snorted some Altoids since last time I've seen that particular interaction. So there's that. Most of these attack speeds are pretty slow. I don't think that's a magic bullet, though. I think that's like that's going to be able to live against the PL, but I kind of have a hard time seeing it kill PL is the problem, and they needed something to kill the guy. They don't really have anything for that, not on the whole team. It really is just going to be, if Phantom Lancer does not die in the course of, in fairness, you know, you do have a slightly larger advantage here, because it's like, he has the Arena Spear, and then he also have the Wraith King stun. And if PL is not dead in that time, he lives. And he kills everybody. And that's as simple as it gets. And we've seen this interaction before, this Phantom Lancer versus Mars with the Treant Protector as well, which is just really annoying. It really does mean that, like, early game, Treant Protector can just spot the PL, right? Spot for him. You know, if PL gets arenaed, Treant stands just right outside where he gets speared and just ults when guys run in, right? Like, you can't really do anything about that. You have the heal, the global heal, when you aren't there, which is not necessarily going to be as effective of a save, but it is going to be a potential one. I don't know. I don't know, Randy. This one doesn't look good. I think maybe the last match kind of got to them, and they weren't thinking the draft through much here, perhaps? Hard to say. But it definitely feels like this heavily favors Lotus Orbange chicken here again.
Yes. I mean,
It's a PL game with no answers to
Gaming,
PL.
what can I tell you?
Yeah, this is a horrific Viper game, all things considered. Yeah, the big pure damage coming off of Hook.
Every time we've seen this hero in the last 3 seasons, it's been trash.
I don't think that's really true. I think the problem is, I think what it really is every time we have seen this hero outside of the last couple of picks, it's been trash. You just can't pick him early. I think that's the biggest weakness of the hero. If you pick Viper as your second overall pick, no matter where you are, if you pick Viper before, like, I think the last 2 picks for your team, he's just going to get countered. It is so easy to get rid of him with one guy. It's kind of the thing about him, is, you know, it's like I said, very binary, right? You know, you can get rid of the Viper in 1 pick. If he doesn't get gotten, he's, like, one of the best heroes in the game, which is the good news. Pretty good hook from Nick there. Oh my god, tell me a Sven stun. Okay, it does. It's already been used. Poor Otto. Copless gets that kill. Shame. Well, they've already gotten more kills in this game than they did in 15 minutes of the last one on the BlackOtter team. That's the good news so far.
Yeah, there's that.
And I doubt the lane goes as badly here. I mean, PL into Mars is going to be different in the long run, in the way it stops being a relevant matchup in and of itself, becomes more about who he's with, but in the lane it should be good, unless Phoenix is very slow to get here. In the lane it should be very good, at least. You know, the point where PL isn't just able to nuke you to death with his Q alone. At that point in the game, Mars is pretty good against him, does a lot of physical damage pretty quickly. It's hard to dodge his stuff, he's got the nice stun. And you're not really going to be able to get him with Harass like you'd probably like. Putting in a Harass, Auto on Bismarck, having a trade with Phoenix over here. Sven Phoenix going at it. It is indeed the famous Auto on Bismarck support Sven.
Yeah, classic stuff.
Shimmying on one hand I don't like, but on the other hand, like, it doesn't really matter if it gets results. So far, the wacky supports, playing the wacky core-ish supports this season has gone a lot better for him than playing the wacky support mids last season, I must say. Trion, Warlock.
He also had a season where he played carry mids and went to the finals. Like, this guy will play anything, anywhere.
True. He went to the finals, and I was the only guy with a bracket who called him, well, not getting there, but I called him beating Princess, and nobody else did, so there's that. I had slightly more faith in him than anybody else did, but still not quite enough. Oh, Phoenix baited the Centaur Stomp. Auto dead? Auto dead. Goodbye.
Rest in peace.
So yeah, this is going a million times better than the last lane For example, there's a killing it on the Radiant off lane. US Danny is ahead of Evolution Pyro for last hits. I mean, there's that. I think this is perhaps a more, fair assessment of what these two teams could look like. Well, the mid is notably not going so hot. 7 last hits down here at only 3 minutes is, you know, it's like a wave and a half that Viper is down already. It's a little awkward this early on, especially in a matchup where I feel like I should be at least modestly favored. Needs a point of his W, I think. Just make things annoying for the guy. You know, you already have the 2 levels of Gras skin. That's awesome. I don't think you're wrong necessarily for not having it yet, but you have the 2 levels of Yuri. That's awesome. It's going to make it hard for Sinking to actually do much to you. You put the W in, and you're kind of like in a better situation than he is when he's in the Sandstorm, right? Which is pretty unusual for Sinking to be in, but you got to start hammering that W. You got enough of your E at this point. Hammer that thing. Don't show me that tortellini stuff. No, bro, he's showing me the tortellini. Oh, I hate to see it. I gotta look away. Without any nether toxin at all, I definitely don't favor the Viper to win this lane. I mean, it's going to be impossible to kill him. He's probably going to be able to farm, for the most part, however much he wants to, or doesn't want to, as displayed here by him slowly walking over to take this water rune he literally doesn't need. Pin does not even begin to describe it. Evolution Pyro going to lose about half of his HP bar here. I don't know why Copless has such a big issue with that range creep that he had to throw the fireball at it. Very annoying to try and get last hits when you have that stupid debuff from Phoenix on you. As predicted earlier, yeah, this is a pretty rough lane for old PL so far. Only 9 last hits, and his supports also died. Maybe the theory, he will be okay in the long run, but maybe, you know, this isn't quite, to say the least, isn't quite to the same level as his performance in the last game. Maybe the idea of trying to kneecap Otto's pool was a sound one. I mean, it seemed sound when it was happening, and it looks sound in practice, so. Of course, in the long run, I don't know how much exactly it's going to matter, but...
My Wraith King is dead.
Yeah, that's true. My
Wraith King is dead twice, actually.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
The good news is he still has double the amounts of last hits as the PL, so even though he's had spills, he's not actually gone. Though a third death would be pretty bad.
Okay. Well, he's going for
his revenge.
Going for the reverse. You know, he's gonna go 09-0.
Yeah, there we go. Well, it's too late. He's 09-1 at worst now. BlackOtter leveled his W. Yeah, why am I even looking at this lane? Get out of here, BlackOtter. Show me that. It's disgraceful. I'm like one of the guys who's like the most conservative about leveling other dogs in the lane. I think it's overrated, to be honest with you. But so if I'm saying Christ, get a level in that thing, then Christ, get a level in the thing. Otto has got megs. He's tired of getting killed all the time at top, I guess. Even with that third spill, Wraith King's still ahead of PL by 10 CS. Again, in the long run, it's not going to matter so much, but an interesting comparison to make at the moment for sure.
By less hits, yeah. But if you look at how close he is to that Radiance, it's a little,
yeah, it's a little... It makes you a little seasick.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news is that if the Radiance comes out this century, it's a very strong item against PL in particular. It's just annoying for him in every possible way. Having his illusions miss all the time sucks, especially if he's going for the Ags build, which I mean statistically probably is because he's playing Wraith King, he's playing PL today. which means he probably wants to do that. Man, this is sad. So, oh, he guessed the wrong one. Phoenix is being a major pain in the ass here. My Wraith King is dead again. My Viper TP'd, but he TP'd so late, unfortunately. Wraith King's already dead, they were tower diving him. See, it's okay if I miss the kill, but it's not okay if you do, if you're actually in it, you know? I can be a hypocrite, it's fine. So I'm not on the mic with all these guys, definitely should be... Like, if you're Wraith King in that moment, you definitely gotta be going, AH! Over the mic, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Apparently he
Viper
was
gets-
not.
Viper
Or
gets
if he
there
was,
earlier.
he was not listened to.
Yeah, Viper gets there earlier, so I don't know if he went on the mic and didn't get acknowledged or he didn't go on the mic, but either way, Viper gets there earlier. That is a nice little cleanup for the both of them there, and a nice little way to get back on track for Wraith King. Instead, it's just another another hole in the boat as it stands. Mars is highest in terms of the last hits here. He is not exactly the best scaling pause 3, to say the least. You know, there's a... Oh, that's unfortunate. You know, there's a reason that I was talking about Arena. Okay. Pretty cool Arena, I gotta be... No, kill him, okay. Pretty cool Arena, gotta be honest with you. Pyro... Dead? Dead. Awesome. Run in by Max as well, really put a nice cherry on top of that. I don't think they get all that if he's not there. Very good. So communication I'm talking about, and okay, Sand King's gonna go down too. So, for as bad as things are going for Wraith King, they're starting to go pretty awesome for everybody else. Ever get his W? He did! That's why he got the kill there, legitimately, probably. Had to tab in and out there, make sure we can still see everything. Shocked you had nothing to say about that arena if you saw it.
I mean, can you do?
What can you do indeed?
My Wraith King's dead again, by the way.
It's true. Oh no. Hit that? Okay, never mind. I was gonna say hit that sun immediately. He did not listen. He hit that Q immediately, which was just as good, it turned out.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Need a sentry here. Unironically, like, drop a sentry there, the guy probably dies. Pudge. Ooh! Evolution Pyro's come down bot at this point. I guess did not like what happened to him up at top. Whole team is with him here. 4 protect the 1 farming, I guess. Pudge just walking out Warlock here. Oh no, bro. Oh, super no. Treon Protector behind the lines just to make it worse.
The
Comes out.
ulti.
Wraith King stuns the Pudge and can't decide whether or not he can actually kill him. The answer was maybe, but if you just kind of walk back and forth like that for 10 seconds, the answer becomes no pretty quick. I would have liked to see Danny TB for that. I don't think this project they're trying to push up to the T2 here is one that's going to be providing dividends precisely. Danny actually still got both of those bounty runes. The man stunned Mars and couldn't actually click the bounties because Mars's hitbox is too fat. He didn't even get the kill. Super sad. And Randy is speechless, having seen that procession of events. Oh, OBS isn't speechless.
Interesting game. It's at least like a more competitive one.
It's true.
Except my Wraith King's status is making me nervous, but
Yeah,
other than
Wraith
that,
King being 0-5 is pretty bad. It's like I said when I think you were out. The rest of his team is starting to ball pretty well, but the Wraith King is really not doing so hot. Nothing else, he has still 20 lasts above this PL. This PL is the guy, right? This PL is the guy you gotta be worried about. And it looks like he might actually lose a race here. He might actually get his Ags at this rate after the Wraith King gets his Radiance. Look at the net worth chart here. Yeah, yikes. Fairness, it's only a 500 gold disparity, but not doing so hot. Both the offlaners currently at the top of the heap. Pudge and the Mars, which is just the battle of like who can do less with their money, really. I think Pudge is the realistic answer there. But Pudge just got like 15 fat stacks this lane, has 6 flesh heaps here. Which only is 7 strength in fairness, but still. That is like I don't know. I mean, like, what's something that gives you about 7 strength? Whatever, let's just say it's 2 gauntlets, so 2 2 1/3 gauntlets. It's like another 500 bucks, basically. Net worth there. They're angling on the fat man. This is a pretty good kill if they can get it. It's kind of an issue with this guy having this much money, is he's a bit of a meat balloon. They can actually get this kill here. They are having to put a lot of effort into getting it. Get it they do. I don't know if it needed the sun, but maybe he's gonna die otherwise, who's to say. They do get the kill ultimately. Yeah, and as a result, 641 gold passes the hands of the Radiant, sadly mostly into the hands of Phoenix. At least Phoenix can use money. Thinking about trying to go on Phoenix here, but I feel like that might be slightly ill-advised.
He doesn't have a supernova, so you might as well go on and make him die. Have a way. But
They chose not
there's
to.
other people here.
Danny. He is surrounded. He is being ulted by Pudge. He's gonna arena here. Oh no. Throw the spear! Not at him! Oh god! No, Danny, no, get the PL, not the fat idiot that you can't kill. I just heard like a pretend golem, now it's a real one.
Okay.
Pudge is gonna go down. PL gonna get this kill though. That was a mega kill streak. Uh-oh. Okay, so remember when he was nobody? When he had no money at all? Well, he just passed the Wraith King, so that's bad. What a nasty drop. That all comes because he didn't spear the right guy in the arena. Come on, Danny, please. Wraith King has a Midas. Interesting decision. Guess I can't oppose it too much. I mean, we've seen what happens when you're in this situation you don't earlier this week with Warcarp, who started out at the back of the heap and was at the back of the heap the rest of the game.
Bottom tower has fallen.
That's kind of sucked out to get it, especially as late as it came out. What can you do, I suppose?
Yeah, it's kind of like a desperation move.
Man, I'm just imagining the reality we could have been living in if PL got speared to the wall in the arena and didn't just get like 700 gold out of killing Phoenix for free.
Pretty similar reality, actually, given that Wraith King's gonna need so much time to get online because of the start that PL will be online and it won't matter.
I don't know, I think in the alternate reality, I think they still would have been on at about the same time, because PL's start was about as bad. Until he got that kill, he was still pretty well down. 3 and under club, well actually it was the metagame.
Danny's cooking though.
Danny's
Okay.
cooking is over.
Well, he's still cooked. He got 2 kills.
It's true. Still some cooking being done. It is kind of the sad upside, though, or the sad downside. I guess depending on how you see it.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Swing and a miss there. That kill, that one kill, felt just so impactful because, like, I mean, these guys are not going to be able to do... If PL's Ags comes out faster than Wraith King Radiance, these two guys, as balling as they are right now, in the Mars and the Viper, are nothing anymore. Like, the PL Ag just eats both of those guys. Like, just for dinner. It super sucks being either of them. So that Wraith King Radiance has got to come out. If that Wraith King Radiance comes out like 10 minutes after the PL Ags, and there's not really a hope in hell this game. Crunchy says US Danny. Who's gonna try and flex on the old PL as long as he can here? They're actually dusted for him here. Or smoked rather, not dusted. They haven't revealed themselves for him. That would be slightly silly. Phoenix is going to take a bounty rune and then walk right into Otto, who is gonna try and get away from Phoenix. Good body blocks by Copless there. Has wasted most of the duration of the war cry, but not all of it. Well, that's kind of funny actually. That's pretty sad for Pudge. Rest in peace. Gonna get the revenge kill on Phoenix. I mean, that was quite a lot they lost for that. Oh, this is a pretty good arena. 3 inside. Kinda struggling to do any damage though. Is he actually using his Q? No, hold on. I gotta see this. Using his Q. Arena starts, he gets rooted. Okay, he is using his Q, oh god. BlackOtter, I hope you know that you very nearly lived in the reality where you're gonna get massively flamed there, and well, that's no good. This team was super ballin' for a very long time, but one big epicenter turned Horror Story into a 2-for-4 trade. 2,510 gold passes into the hands of the Dire. A lot of that goes to the PL. The window is closing. The noose is tightening. That was like... You can't have that happen in a game that looks like this. And what a fight for that to happen too. US Danny gets this really cool looking arena. 3 guys in it. Pinned to the wall. Wastes the Treon ult, and then they all die anyway. Like, that is really rough.
Yeah.
No Pudge either. They had no Pudge for the duration of that. Smoking around here. The smoke. Gonna be likely getting the BlackOtter here. Hello, BlackOtter, says Pudge. Everybody was kind of reacting to that like they thought this was a fake Viper, but nope, he's all too real and all too dead. Which is something that it's kind of hard to say that should be allowed to happen at this point. PL has passed another guy. He has finished tags at this point. He is getting pretty close to Diffie. And that's pretty rough.
Not looking good, boys.
Yeah. The PL versus the Wraith King, who stopped Radiance to go for... No, you can't do that. I'm sorry, dude. That was a big mistake. Maybe has helped him farm a little bit faster, but you can't afford to, like, make that kind of trade, I think, at this point. You just have to have the Radiance for the PL, or you're just not going to win. And you have to have it relatively early.
Well, relatively early part isn't gonna happen. Like, even if you remove the Blink Dagger price, he still doesn't have Radiance.
On one hand, that's true, but at least if you remove the Blink Dagger price, he's almost done with it by now. PL has not actually fought with his eggs yet. He's just freshly gotten it.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
But at this point, there's going to be 1 or 2 fights where PL has the Ags and Wraith King doesn't have the Radiance, and those are going to feel really impossible to win. Oh man, Nick, just do it, Nick. Oh my god. Get some vision, guys! Somebody smoke! Take 3 steps! Oh, that's so sad to see, dude. He just walks away. Mars close to BKB, which is sadly probably not really gonna help him. Wraith King's gonna show up here and make a little bit of a protest effort, but the problem is if you literally only have Blink Dagger, you don't really do anything as Wraith King. Ready to get Golem, but it's not gonna save Viper's life. BLX comes in. Okay.
Supernova.
Very good Supernova. The arena kind of hits the wrong guy. And yeah,
Oh my
well,
God. Okay. Well,
this is kind of what I was. Okay, Nick.
Pyro's dead.
Not Nick. Pyro actually dies there for that. Of course,
Epicenter.
everybody else
Holy.
also dies, but you know.
The Sand King is too good.
Everybody
Tip
tips
that
him.
man.
Well, that was a great example of what I was talking about earlier. You had the fight where Wraith King doesn't have the Radiance. He unqueued it. Yeah, this is this is not looking good. This is not looking good. I don't think they can. It's already a thin margin that they win, but
You
like
can't buy a 35-minute Radiance.
You can't not. I don't think there's any hope of winning if you don't get like you have to get it sometime. It's just like the only hope you have against this guy. It's not a farming item for PL, like against PL. It's a make PL's illusions not do anything item.
I don't know. I'm skeptical of how much that actually works in practice.
Well, I've seen it work
Yeah,
in practice in
against
this
Radiant.
week. I mean, it's a super duper annoying item for him, and I can tell you it's something for absolute sure whether you buy into that narrative or not. You're a doofus if you don't. Whether you buy into that narrative or not, here's one thing that is absolutely true. This doesn't do a damn thing against them except soak up the damage from the Qs themselves, which is not going to be a problem for you at this point, realistically. Certainly not going to help him do damage.
Clowning on his team. That's the reason he's getting it.
That's true, but the problem is that the Sand King clowned his team. The Sand King didn't clown him. That was all PL.
Yeah, that's true.
That
Well,
was
I mean,
all
I'm
PL.
not telling you it's the right decision. I'm telling
Yeah,
you
that's
why
why
he's
he's doing it.
Yeah.
You can't surrender to a guy who has this much of a disproportionate advantage in a game like this, and I think that's unfortunately where his is at. He's kind of surrendered. He's just said, okay, if PL shows up, we all die, so I have to build for the fights where he doesn't show up and avoid him, basically. Is I think the methodology here. Which is a tough ask. Very
Yeah,
good Supernova. Godly
that is a good
Supernova,
sign.
holy moly. Man, that was awesome.
Bottom tower is under
It's gonna take an hour and a half to get rid of Pudge, but they are gonna do the job. Sand King is very fast. He is gonna get out.
Whatever.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Even with just the Wraith, even with just the Pudge and the Treant, that was still almost 2,000 gold into Radiant's pockets there, which is very nice. Very nice to have if you're in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I kind of got baited by their sinking there. What can you do?
Damn, and he was a god last fight. Unfortunately, now Viper has baited himself.
Even God's flip.
Viper stays a little too far forward for a little too long and realizes that until he gets his own ags, he literally doesn't do anything to this guy at all. I found the Warlock here.
His top tower is
Just
under
gonna eat him.
attack.
This game used to be competitive. Not looking so hot anymore.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, I mean, the only fight Radiant has won in the last little while has been that one where Sand King did some psycho 3v5, and they like barely got any kills out of that.
Radiant's middle tower
I mean, the big thing is that this PL was not answered at the start of the game. He ain't answered now. Viper going for a leap in the air, which is kind of an answer, but again, still kind of falls under the same category of like, yeah, sure, you can stop PL doing that, but you're not going to kill him that way. Good hook. Isn't going to mean anything, but it was a good hook regardless. I like how Ghouls picked up the bounty rune, then tried to dig up, tried to double his pleasure there. Evolution Pyro going to get a veritable cornucopia of Lotuses here.
This is a good opportunity to learn.
This is a good opportunity to learn. Not sure what you do learn, but I'm sure you could learn something here. Danny just sold something. What the hell? Hold on. What was that? What? Dan?
Get rid of this BKB.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Well, probably trying to sell Rolling Blade, I'd guess.
Oh. Oh.
That's how you get a 9-second back, you know? He wants another 9-second BKB.
He
It's
queued
too
it
good.
back.
No, dude. If you do that, you get 9 seconds again, don't you?
No, I don't think you do anymore.
Intentional, bro. Intentional.
I
Don't worry about it.
I don't think you do anymore.
No. Don't worry about it.
Well, glad I saw that. Oh my god.
And now we're okay.
Oh my god, this is so big. Pyro snatched the Aegis. He didn't get it.
If only I had
Holy
a
crap.
That's pretty bad.
Huge.
Actually. It's just gonna kill
Well,
them
it
all.
was huge. Man, that sucks. That looked so awesome. That's a real testament to how far this game has gone, that failed that badly.
I mean, if somebody else got Aegis, it would have been fine, but like the second you saw Pioli get Aegis, you knew that was gonna be a disaster because you can't kill him twice. Like, they used everything to kill him the first time.
I figured what would likely happen there is that they use everything to kill him the first time, and then he just gets out. But no, they used everything to give him the first time, then he killed everybody. US Danny has to be absolutely fuming. He probably that fight probably does go at least slightly differently. Well, I mean, I don't know how much damage he actually took from magic sources there. It is likely he just kind of. I mean, this is probably at least a chunk of it, so. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Poor Danny, dude. I can't believe that just happened to him. I wish there were safeguards on selling items like that. I've had a very similar experience back in the day when Tiny Zags used to be you just picked up a tree. What is now tree grab used to be like a permanent thing. Back when Tiny Zags was that, I even like made a very special arrangement in my inventory to make sure I would not accidentally sell the thing, and then I actually sold the thing. And I wanted to die. Phoenix dead. Supports are just dead. I mean, this is really what I was talking about with this whole PL situation. Like, he's just killing guys with his Ags. Like, almost by accident at this point. Like, look at everybody just melt. PL, like, the real PL was not even in that, and he got a double kill. He got both of the guys in the arena, and he wasn't even there until they were already 90% dead. Like,
Radiant's top tower.
Very competitive series.
it's true.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
So a lot of good moments for the Radiant in this game. A lot of good moments for Les Foes Gras. I do think a lot of what happened in Game 2 was just Game 1 had gotten to them so badly. Let's just be real here. They came in with a major morale deficit. I don't care how much of a PMA optimist you think you are not shrugging all that off. It's hard to say necessarily. In the reality where that doesn't happen, they win. I still think it probably is favoring the Dire. But it is something that certainly had an impact on some of the plays and course of this match. It was a bit unfortunate. Well, what can you do?
Middle barracks are under attack.
Sven is the only one hitting buildings, which would usually be a very good thing if Sven wasn't 10k in a, you know, the lowest net worth in the server. He was still gonna get the job done anyway.
Hey, MMR.
MMR.
10k MMR.
There you go. Hey, it's 10k net worth. It is a tragedy. I do think this game favors the Radiant. They did, for the situation they were in, they did definitely still put up a good fight for what they had. It's a bit of a tragedy. Given how tough things were for PL at the start of the game, could be a nail biter. I don't know. I don't know. Nails are certainly not being bit anymore.
That was unreal.
That was Unreal Engine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Gonna make him do the slow siege. In a game where there's a pause Foies Sven and you have nobody who scales except for Wraith Kings, you're actually a nutcase if you think there's any hope to win at this point. Gonna tab out real quick.
Dire structures are fortified.
Everything is still good in the world. Okay, it's gonna hitch again. Heep. Sorry, Dota does that when you tap in and out in replays. This is a pretty awesome looking Sand King ult. Couple of skulls of G's. Danny dies, and we're going home. That was a bit of a Greek tragedy, I think. Certainly, I think if nothing else, I think Radiant showed that on a good day, with a less dispirited draft, this is definitely a hypothetically competitive matchup. Even though they had a draft deficit, it was definitely it definitely was looking like, you know, there was a very narrow path for them to win this. They were walking it for a minute. I do think they fell off. I think Wraith King got a little too defeatist about his position. Ended up with that Blink BKB build where he was doing literally no damage. I would not be surprised to see. Yeah, at least in the game. Oh no, Sven did a little bit less than him, but that was it. And that's a pause 5, you know.
Yeah.
Ended up with this build where he doesn't farm very fast, nor does he do any damage. I think he got very defeatist. I think game 1 got into everybody's heads. That's why we saw BKB get sold at the end there, you know. I don't know. It was very rough. It did. I think there was a lot of signs of life in even in game 1 there were a few cool plays, but in game 2 there are definitely signs of life. I think in a match where there's not like a massive disparity in the drafts, this could definitely be a very even matchup. So a bit sad to see it go this way this week. I don't know. I think if you're the BlackOtter team, I wouldn't beat yourself up about this. He had a bad day. Take one down, sing a sad song, turn it around next week, right? Like, if you meet these guys on bracket, it's not necessarily the end of the world. But definitely some things to take home here about the old draft and everything. So, anything else to say about this match?
Nope.
Cool Sand King plays, cool Mars plays as well, outside of the selling of the BKB. Too bad the guy has like a 40% win rate unless you're explicitly countering somebody. If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg today to sign up. It's too late to get into this season, but queues are popping everywhere you look. People are needing stand-ins every minute of the day. ld2l.gg, click that link to that Discord server. That's where all the fun is happening. And we'll see you next time for, finally, the Wizard versus Tallballs game.